everyone, what's up? My name is Joss and welcome back to my channel squibblesreads. If you have been hanging out on Twitter lately, you will know that there has been talk about whether diversity is trendy or even necessary. I am just going to stop right there and say that diversity is not just necessary, but it is critical. This is people's lives. We don't lose anything by being inclusive and giving people the opportunity to tell their own stories. So the wonderful and brilliant minds of Monica from She Might Be Monica, Christina from Lula Fangirl, Whitney from Witty Novels, all of whose channels I will link down below, and myself, came together and created DiverseAthon, which is a readathon that is taking place from September 12th to the 19th to celebrate everyone's stories and to say that people who may have never seen or rarely see themselves as the protagonist of a story are just as important. And if you are watching this and this is you, you are important. A tweet that I saw the other day said something along the lines of understanding is best fostered when you just simply believe someone from a different group other than yourself when they tell you their story. The first step is to actually pursue those stories that come from a different lens than yourself. It is one thing to say that you want to read diversely, but I've said this a million times on my channel. It is one thing to say something and another one to actually take action. So we can check books out from our library, download them on our Kindle, and seek books with a protagonist that is of a different identity than you and talk about it. Talk about tokenization, talk about representation, talk about quality and depth of the character that is being portrayed. That is the basis from which DiverseAthon was born. So y'all are probably wondering what the actual details and guidelines and semantics of DiverseAthon are, so here they are. First of all, the hashtag that we use for everything, so discussions, videos, photos, will be hashtag DiverseAthon. So there's an A between the diverse and the thon. Second of all, there are no reading challenges in terms of the number or the type of books. The main goal is just to be reading more diversely than what you normally read, whatever that means for you, not necessarily the quantity of pages that you read. That diversity can be in terms of ethnicity, age, gender identity, sexual preference, mental health challenges, physical health challenges, and disabilities. I will encourage you to say in your TBR posts or videos or photos why you chose the books that you chose and why they are going to challenge you in terms of reading more diversely. I will also challenge you to read some, of course, non-spoilery reviews to see if the books that you are reading are Own Voices books, or whether people have said that it tokenizes their identity. By an Own Voices book, I mean a book that was written by an author who identifies with one or more marginalized groups that their protagonist identifies with. I did do a whole discussion video about Own Voices books, and I do go into more detail, so I will link that down below. There is a group book, but it is optional because we did announce and come up with this readathon so close to the start date, and that book is Homegoing by Yaa Gyasi, and I did do a full review of this book, so I will leave it down below, but the other three hosts have not read it yet and do want to read it, so this is going to be the group book. This book is particularly important because things like racism, sexism, prejudice, they are not just things that exist in the present. I mean, obviously they do, but they are systemic, they are institutional, and they come from a long lineage of things that have happened. We have to look at their roots and see how these things are conveyed in present-day society. Homegoing does this really well, covering over 300 years of history, 8 generations, and doing this in a little bit more than 300 pages. So even if y'all don't read this during DiverseAthon, I would recommend it just in general for the future. The next thing is that instead of reading sprints, we will actually be hosting discussions throughout the week on Twitter, and we still have not finalized that schedule, but as soon as we do, I will leave all the dates and times in the down bar below. Right now, I will let you know the discussion times that I will be hosting or a part of. So on the first day, Monday, September 12th, and on the last day, Monday, September 19th, we will all be hosting as a group using the hashtag DiverseAthon. And then on Tuesday, the 13th, my discussion will start at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and on Friday, the 16th, my discussion will start at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I did this because I wanted to give everyone around the world an opportunity to come and talk to us. Something that I will ask is that to bring to the discussions an open, non-judgmental mind, bring humility, a willingness to learn and challenge yourself, and really, really, truly hear people and be open to feeling uncomfortable yourself and looking at the world through their lens. Finally, if you are looking for recommendations for your own TBR, Monica has actually started a Google Doc, and you can submit your own recommendations there, and then they will populate in a different Google Doc spreadsheet so you can see all of the books that other people have recommended. I think right now there are over 100 books, so definitely a large wealth of information there. If you want to ask for something specific that you're looking for, definitely ask one of the 4 of us or ask on Twitter using the hashtag. Okay, so let me tell y'all what is on my own TBR. As some of you guys know, I am a very pretty busy person this semester, and I have picked 6 books, which is absolutely way more than I can actually finish, but I wanted to really push myself and have options such that no matter what I pick, I will be learning something. The first book is written by one of my favorite authors, and he's a transgender man who identifies as Elliot Wake. But this book, Cam Girl, was written as Leah Rader. This is a new adult book that covers topics like gender and sexuality, but it was specifically recommended to me on Twitter because I was looking for books with people with physical disabilities, and this book does feature a protagonist with one. There is an accident involving Vada and her girlfriend Ellis, and Vada is extremely injured in all respects, and this book describes that accident. However, Vada also works as a cam girl, so in pornography, which is a career that is probably the most stigmatized way of earning money. I think this book will really push me to be judgment-free. My second book is one that I've wanted to read for a long time. It's been sitting on my shelf for a while, and this book is Guapa by Salim Haddad. This is the story of Rasa, who is a gay man who is growing up in the Middle East and covers topics like activism, politics, the underground community, generational issues, and police work in the Middle East, all of which are areas that I do want to learn more about. Up next is Just Visiting by Dahlia Adler, which is a YA contemporary which I have heard nothing but stellar praise for because of the wide breadth of topics that it covers and the diversity of their protagonists. So one of our protagonists is Victoria, who is a Mexican-American girl, and she also is fluent in American Sign Language because her mom is hearing impaired. Reagan, our other protagonist, lives in poverty in a trailer park. I've also heard that it covers topics like protected sex and feminism, all in a sex-positive way, so I really can't wait to read this one either. Next, I have Wolf in White Van by John Darnielle, which is about a boy named Sean who has gone through a really big incident and is left with a bunch of physical injuries. It also, I believe, covers some mental health challenges because he does create a role-playing game called Trace Italian to help him throughout his recovery, and mental health challenges are always an area that I want to challenge myself in. The 5th book on my TBR is We Awaken by Callista Lynn. Callista reached out to me and asked me if I would honestly review her book. I accepted because We Awaken actually features lesbian asexual protagonists who explore themselves and their identities. I honestly don't know any books that feature asexual protagonists besides this one and Every Heart a Doorway by Shauna McGuire, and that is definitely something I do want to change about my reading. The last book on my TBR is called Ghetto Side by Jill Levy. This is a nonfiction book that looks at a particular area in South Central Los Angeles in which the statistic says that in 1993, African American men between the ages of 20 and 24 died by homicide at a rate of 368 men per 100,000 people. The author theorizes that because there is a very scant police presence in these minority neighborhoods that are filled with a large gang presence, may lead men to consider and commit homicide. I am not as well versed in issues of poverty, gun violence, and brutality as I would like to be, and considering everything that is going on in the news and in the world, I would definitely love to learn more. That is it for this video. I really hope that if you are watching this, even if you read like a quarter or a half of a book, please come to our discussions on Twitter because we are going to have discourse, promote diverse books, and take action. I appreciate all of you for being here and joining us. If you guys are participating in DiverseAthon, please leave me your TBR down below, or if you have any more questions, also leave those in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next week. Bye!